When most people hear the term proprietary trading firm, or prop firm for short, it sounds technical, maybe even intimidating. But the truth is much simpler. At its core, a prop firm is essentially a bridge between your skill as a trader and access to meaningful capital. Instead of relying solely on your own limited funds, you're given the chance to manage the resources of a much larger entity. It's the firm's money on the line, but your decisions behind the screen. And that arrangement fundamentally changes the psychology of trading. Let's step back for a moment. Imagine a young trader sitting in their room, staring at charts late at night. They've read the books, watched the videos, maybe even practiced on demo accounts. They feel ready, but then reality hits. To make any significant return in the markets, they need capital. And capital, for most beginners, is painfully scarce. You can be skilled, disciplined, and deeply knowledgeable. Yet if your account size is only a few $100s, your growth will feel like watching paint dry. Frustration builds, doubt creeps in, and many quit before they ever truly begin. This is where the prop firm model enters as a game changer. Instead of requiring traders to risk years of savings or fall into debt, firms offer a simple proposition. Prove your ability under structured conditions, and we'll back you with real money. That's it. You're no longer boxed in by the ceiling of your personal funds. Suddenly the opportunity horizon expands. But here's where the real lesson lies. It's not just about more money to trade with. It's about the shift in responsibility. When you trade your own small account, mistakes might sting, but they rarely cut deep enough to teach humility. With a prop account, every decision carries weight. You're being trusted with resources that are not your own. That trust changes the way you think, the way you plan, the way you react. It pushes you to step into a higher level of maturity, one where impulsiveness is replaced by patience and ego gives way to discipline. Psychologically, this is profound. We live in a culture where instant gratification dominates. People want fast profits, quick wins, and overnight success. Prop firms, in a strange way, act as a filter against that mentality. They create rules, risk limits, daily loss caps, consistency targets, not to restrict you, but to shape you. Because in trading, freedom without structure is chaos, and chaos in the markets leads to ruin. Philosophically, you could even argue that a prop firm represents one of the oldest principles of human growth: stewardship. Throughout history, individuals have been entrusted with responsibility over something larger than themselves. Kings gave soldiers armies, societies gave leaders power, teachers entrusted students with wisdom. In each case, the real test wasn't just whether they could handle the gift. It was whether they could handle the responsibility. Trading with a prop firm is no different. It's a test of stewardship. Can you respect the capital? Can you manage it wisely, not recklessly? Can you resist the temptation of greed and the fear of loss long enough to make rational, consistent decisions? And here's the paradox. While the money technically belongs to the firm, the discipline you build belongs to you. That psychological evolution, learning to treat every dollar as if it carries infinite weight, transfers into every aspect of your life. Suddenly, risk management isn't just about stop losses on a chart. It's about how you handle time, energy, and opportunities. The markets become a mirror reflecting back who you truly are: your patience, your impulsiveness, your resilience. Now, many people approach prop trading with the wrong mindset. They see it as a shortcut, a hack to get rich without putting in years of grinding. But shortcuts never last. What lasts is transformation. The shift from thinking like an amateur with a dream to acting like a professional with a system. Passing a challenge might get you funded, but it's the mindset of stewardship that keeps you funded. And that mindset is forged in the daily discipline of following rules, managing emotions, and respecting risk. So when we talk about what a prop firm is, don't think of it as just a company giving you access to bigger numbers on a screen. Think of it as a proving ground, a mirror, and a mentor. One that doesn't care about your excuses, doesn't respond to your hopes, and doesn't bend to your will. The firm simply holds up a structure, and within that structure, you discover who you really are as a trader. And perhaps that's the most valuable part of all. Because money can be given or taken away. Funding can come and go. But once you've developed the mindset of responsibility, patience, and stewardship, no one can take that from you. That's yours forever. So the next time you hear the phrase prop firm, don't just think of capital. Think of responsibility. Think of maturity. Think of the chance to prove not only that you can trade, but that you can be trusted. Because in the end, the real profit is not measured in dollars, it's measured in discipline. When we talk about why prop firms matter, it's easy to focus on the obvious, the money. The idea of controlling a six-figure trading account while only putting down a relatively small fee feels almost too good to be true. And in some ways, it is extraordinary. But the real power of prop firms isn't simply that they let you trade bigger. It is that they strip away one of the greatest barriers traders face, the limitation of personal capital. Think about it. Most people enter the markets with a dream, but that dream is quickly confronted by math. If you start with a $1,000 account, even a respectable return of 10% a month, which, by the way, is far above what most professional traders achieve consistently, only earns you $100. $100 for all that stress, analysis, time, and emotional turbulence. It doesn't feel worth it. And when something doesn't feel worth it, discipline starts to erode. You force trades, you over-leverage, you chase outcomes. The limitation of your capital doesn't just cap your profit, it distorts your psychology. Now compare that with the prop model. Suddenly, that same 10% return could be $1,000 or $5,000, depending on the size of the funded account. The math changes, and when the math changes, so does your mindset. You're no longer suffocating under the ceiling of your own limited resources. You can finally breathe. You can finally trade with patience, because the rewards of discipline are now meaningful enough to justify the struggle. But let's go deeper. The real gift of prop trading isn't the money itself. It is the freedom that comes with removing the excuse of money. Too often, traders tell themselves they failed because they didn't have enough capital. They believe they're trapped by their financial starting point. Prop firms take that excuse off the table. They say, here's the capital, now show us what you can do. And that's both liberating and terrifying. Because now, if you fail, you can't blame lack of money. You can only look in the mirror. This is where the psychological growth happens. A prop account exposes the truth about your trading. Are you consistent? Are you patient? Do you follow your plan? Or do you sabotage yourself when the pressure rises? The capital doesn't hide your weaknesses. It magnifies them. And that magnification forces you to confront yourself in ways a small personal account never could. Philosophically, there's a deeper principle at work here. Access. Human history is shaped by access, or the lack of it. Access to education, to opportunity, to networks, to resources. Those who had it could rise. Those who didn't were often left behind, no matter their talent. Prop firms democratize access in a way the trading world has never seen before. For the cost of a gym membership, you can sit at the table where real capital moves. That doesn't mean everyone will succeed, but it means the door is open. And sometimes, the simple fact of the door being open changes everything about how you approach the journey. Still, there's a danger here. If you think of prop trading as a lottery ticket, you'll treat it recklessly. You'll gamble. You'll get funded once, blow the account, and blame the firm. But if you see it for what it truly is, an accelerator of your growth, a stage to prove your ability, then it becomes a tool of transformation. The money isn't the real prize. The real prize is the chance to trade at a level that forces you to operate like a professional, to align your habits with the scale of opportunity in front of you. And here's the paradox. While prop firms remove the barrier of limited capital, they also expose the deeper truth that money was never the real barrier in the first place. The real barrier has always been mindset. Prop trading simply makes it obvious. If you succeed, it is not because someone handed you capital. It is because you built the discipline to honor it. And if you fail, it's not because you didn't have enough money. It is because you weren't ready to be responsible with more. So the power of prop trading is not just in amplifying your account size. It's in amplifying your accountability. It takes away the excuse of money and replaces it with the responsibility of discipline. And that shift, from blaming circumstances to owning responsibility, is where real traders are born. Because in the end, capital is abundant. Prop firms exist in every corner of the world. But discipline, consistency, psychological mastery, those are rare, and that's why the money is never the real advantage. The real advantage is who you become once the barrier of money is gone. It is tempting to think that once you've passed the evaluation and earned a funded account, the hard part is over. But in truth, that's where the real test begins. Because trading with a prop firm isn't about chasing a one-time win. It's about proving day after day that you can protect capital while still creating consistent returns. And this is where so many traders stumble. They focus on the thrill of getting funded, but they underestimate the responsibility of staying funded. The reality is simple. Trading at scale is not about talent alone. It's about discipline. A prop account magnifies both your strengths and your weaknesses. If you're impulsive, that impulsiveness now carries a larger price tag. If you lack patience, the market will punish you more severely. And if you approach trading with the mindset of fast profits, you'll quickly find yourself expelled from the firm. Because for prop firms, the real question isn't, can you make money once? It's, can you make money sustainably without blowing up? This is where the conversation shifts from strategy to psychology. Anyone can design a trading plan on paper, but sticking to it under pressure is another matter entirely. Imagine being down for the day, feeling the urge to make it back, or picture yourself in profit, tempted to over-leverage just once to double your gains. These aren't just technical decisions, they're emotional battles. And the ones who survive aren't necessarily the smartest or the fastest. They were the ones who master themselves. Here's a philosophical truth worth considering. In trading, freedom without discipline is destruction. A trader with no rules is like a soldier with no training, armed but dangerous to themselves. Prop firms enforce discipline through risk parameters, but ultimately, those rules are external. The deeper transformation happens when those external rules become internal principles, when you no longer follow them because you have to, but because you've learned the wisdom of respecting them. And this is why mindset becomes the ultimate differentiator. The market is not just a place to earn money, it's a mirror. It reflects back your impatience, your greed, your fear, your arrogance. Every time you overtrade, every time you ignore your stop loss, every time you chase a setup that isn't really there, you're not just breaking rules, you're exposing the parts of yourself that still need growth. Prop trading accelerates this feedback loop. It shows you, brutally and honestly, whether you're ready to handle opportunity at scale. Think of it this way. Capital is an amplifier. If you give an undisciplined trader $500, they'll lose $500. And let's be honest, this is not easy. It requires humility to admit that most failures aren't because of the market or the firm or bad luck. They're because of us. It requires patience to accept that progress is slow and that consistency is built over months and years, not days. And it requires courage to confront your weaknesses head-on instead of blaming external forces. These are not just trading skills, they are life skills. And that's why prop trading at its best is not just about money, it's about personal transformation. If you take this seriously, if you see trading not as a quick escape, but as a disciplined craft, then every funded account becomes more than just access to capital. It becomes a laboratory where you refine your character. It becomes a stage where you practice patience, resilience, and responsibility. And over time, these qualities begin to spill into other parts of your life. You handle stress differently. You make decisions with more clarity. You respect risks instead of ignoring them. In this way, trading becomes less about profit and more about who you become in the process. So when people ask about the catch of prop firm trading, I'd say this. The catch is that it will expose you. It will reveal whether you ready to grow or whether you still hiding behind shortcuts and excuses. And that's a gift, if you're willing to see it that way. Because at the end of the day, anyone can pass a challenge, but very few can sustain long-term success. The difference is not knowledge, not luck, not even opportunity. It's mindset. And here's the final thought I want to leave you with. Capital can be given, but discipline must be earned. A firm can provide you with money, but it cannot provide you with patience, humility, or consistency. Those qualities are forged in the fire of failure, repetition, and self-reflection. And until you build them, No amount of capital will save you. So the next time you think about prop firm trading, remember this. It's not free money, it's a mirror. It's asking you one simple question. Can you be trusted with opportunity? If the answer is yes, the doors will open wider than you ever imagined. If the answer is no, the market will teach you until you're ready. Because in the end, the real wealth of prop trading is not the funding itself. It is the person you become while earning the right to keep it.